Sorry, the last countdown, or the last countdown.
Warning. This talk does contain sexism, nationalism, homophobia, racism, and sarcasm. Truth.
Thank you. I'm Chivo. You all know me. I'm bringing you the 10 most important responsibilities of a game designer. I'm really glad that the folks at Lost Levels, aka the GDC Weirdo Summit, invited me here to drop some knowledge on you, because I understand you guys are having trouble making some indie games. Well, I've been in AAA games for over 25 years. I recently made my move to indie games to start my own studio. I may not look it, but Rick Chivo is 58 years old. You probably know my hit indie game, Dino Sucks Thunder Gun. Dino Sucks Thunder Gun Infinite. So, without further ado, let's get started. These are your responsibilities. Have fun. I don't mean you, I mean you have to put fun in the game. Forget about this, it goes in the game. You're not supposed to have fun. Making gardens is hard work. Next slide. By the way, before I go any further, a big hand for Katie from Gone Home, my booth babe. Your job, putting fun into a game, it's fucking simple. You are a pleasure slave, that is your job. Your job is to stroke every ludic orifice of every player to make them feel fun and challenge and mastery and other sensual feelings. Stroke their neurons. You are a fluffer for the ultimate pornography, the real world. Yeah! You want to get hard and wet and ready to go back into reality. That's the only thing you have to do, so why aren't you doing it? Next slide, Katie. Tip number 2 is if I do. Some of you seem to have a problem with this. I don't know what. It's really not that hard. I'm going to tell you how. Next slide. Straight up. Look around you. There's so many role models here. Why don't you be like them? You need to be dressing more like them. You guys look like fucking freaks. Look, get yourself a t-shirt, preferably with an 80s game on it. Wear some baggy pants and slouch around and do not talk. Especially do not talk about how you're different from them, because that makes people really uncomfortable. This isn't that hard to understand. If you're not sure what games to like, just like what everyone else is liking. Okay, something about rules. Rules are really important. Put them in your game. Next slide. Yeah. Tell it, Rick. You're awesome. And this means don't be made of other things. Do not be made of your experiences, ways in which you're different from other people, your precious feelings. Nobody cares about that stuff. Anything that makes you special, like nobody gives a shit. I don't care if you're like a queer Asian American trans woman from an immigrant family with some mild mental health problems. Nobody cares about that. Yeah, Rick. I don't know what to say next. Yes, games take a lot of crunching, but the more straighter and wider and duder you get, the more you can make other people do it. People like Ellen Page from Beyond Two Souls right here turning the page. And there are many countries all around the world where people's time is much less valuable than your time. So take advantage of that. You can get women to do stuff for you, especially acting as producers. They're great for that. And then the most time-honored indie tradition that many of you don't know about, find a more introverted developer and take credit for their work. Next slide. You have to be super original. Super original. Don't be a fucking cloner. Who finds you will kill you. Don't clone fucking games. Next slide. Here's how you do that. Step 1, Super Mario. Find really edgy, regular Mario. You change some stuff around. And then the rest of the time you spend doing promo, wherever you can. Don't worry about anything else. Just follow this recipe for success and you will have a hit indie game. Next slide. Choices. A lot of you really don't get this. Really important. The players, the center of the universe, they're the ones that you should be caring about and looking at all the time. They're the decider who decides what happens. Without the player, you are nothing and your game is nothing. You have to make them feel like what they do matters, okay? And like, they're going to decide what happens. Yes, it's from a list that you make, but that's okay. Don't talk about that part. Okay. Next slide, here's some examples of what not to do. These are not choices. This is a twine game. These things are not choices. Bad, sad, man. No, nobody. Do I have to go back? Nobody cares about this stuff. No one cares about how you feel or about how they feel. Next. You have to be a rock star, especially on social media. This is your responsibility. Don't be afraid to swear. Don't be afraid to say weird stuff like just get on Twitter and just say egg. Big fights with everyone, especially like weird old guys who are still hanging around the games industry and being like, I have an academic job now and I have some ideas. No, fuck that! Polish that shit! You got shiny shit! You can monetize that shit! How hard is this to understand? You need to like make sure that the game you create just looks like it's something that's always been there in the world and that there's no creator, it just happened and that you just disappear into it. And because that's what we want. We want things that have been created as if by God, not with like human markings and sweat all over them. So let me explain to you a big problem. Next slide. Less dissonance, more assonance. Everything needs to be going in the same direction. You don't want to have like audio-visual dissonance. You don't want like narrative-audio dissonance, and you definitely don't want ludo-narrative dissonance. If everything's in the same direction, you will reach the perfection of God's unitary creation as represented by this banana and that banana. And last tip, seek more wisdom. You can buy my book for $129.99 in the JC store. And with that, I'm out, but I want to give a big hand for Elizabeth from BioShock.